Hey everybody, Cameron here. Normally I wouldn't get on the camera to talk to you. Let me scoot up a little bit. That's endearing, right? Normally I wouldn't get on the camera, do all this stuff, but I figured it would be interesting to do a little prelude for this video. Basically what it is, as you can probably tell from the title, is a little walk down memory lane from Dungeons & Dragons when we played it 15 years ago, something like that, long time ago. Recently came upon a briefcase that I used to keep all my D&D materials in high school, and it was like in my parents' house for a long time, and like maybe 6 or 7 years ago they handed it off to me, and it's just been floating around my house from apartment to apartment to apartment, whatever. I was moving into my house, I don't know, several months ago, a few months back, as you will know. If you listen to the shows, there was some breaks and things like that. Anyway, point being, I found it, and I was like, oh, I need to do something with it. And so what I did is I got a little table, and I put a camera up. Anyway, that's all to say. The angle's a little bit weird. There's some focal stuff going on, but basically what you're about to see is a walk down memory lane of me, and sometimes Danny, of us playing Dungeons & Dragons when we were in high school. I only have little fragments and pieces. I'll talk about all those things, but I think you'll really like it. If you like listening to Mages and Murder Dads, or you like listening to Helpful Homunculi, or if you like any of the D&D stuff that we do in Sword Coast Coast to Coast, this is kind of like a little origin story video, I guess, something like that. Anyway, this is a long prelude just to tell you, you're about to see some stuff. I'm going to talk over it. It'll be fun. I don't know. We don't really do these videos very often, this type of video. This is not a change for the channel to begin making reminiscent videos. I just thought you might enjoy it. So, here we go. Okay, cool. Shout out to this background thing that I'm using from Magic the Gathering. It's a little magic playmat. I didn't know what else to do. This is our notebook we got. I used a 3-ring binder. I think like many people use a 3-ring binder. This is some symbols from the Zhentarim, I think. So this is some Forgotten Realms-y kind of stuff that that we were doing. I don't know. I was just like drawing some alphabet symbols. I don't know. So this is a printed map of Arabelle. I'm pretty sure you can see I've like made up some locations there, but I'm pretty sure I used the map of Arabelle because of I'd read the Forgotten Realms novels where it starts in Arabelle, the one where all the gods are on Earth. I don't know why I can't come up with that. Here's like a little fort that I made. I don't really know what that's all about. Probably has to do with this. Those are some stat sheets. I still basically keep all the stats of enemies and things like that same way. But so yeah, so this is like an adventure, like a straight up adventure that I wrote. This is a riddle room. These riddles are hot garbage. You can probably zoom in on them and read them or expand them if you want. I'm not going to recount that for you, but this is, yeah, like a second edition style, even though I think we're playing 3.5 here. Second edition style, like completely mapped out kind of thing. Each room has a corresponding number, and each number has a long description written about it. So there's just a bunch of like additional information from that. So I don't know what's actually in this 3-ring notebook. It seems like it's several little adventures that we did, and you'll see a little bit more about that in a minute. This is a pretty good little fort that I made. I don't know what that spiral room is. This is basically like Irenicus dungeon style stuff. I definitely, when I started DMing, was just basically making versions of Irenicus' dungeon over and over again. It's like this is a keep you can see, which I think is pretty good design. I don't think this ever went into an adventure. It was too complicated for me to run, certainly. I'm sure all of these were terrible too. These are some dungeon tiles. They definitely came from the 3.5 edition starter kit kind of thing, which came with some minis that I used to have that tragically were lost. So here's some individual little file folders, one of which has Adventure 1 and 3, and then a list of people who have completed it, and then Adventure 2, which also has a couple people on it. I have no idea what my like organizational system was here. But you can see that this is like the other one, just 2.5 edition, or advanced D&D style numbers and rooms, right? Like there are rooms, and they're all numerically numbered, and they all have something to them. This is a classic dungeon style kind of deal. Weirdly enough, they all have... Okay, I guess I see, on them how they do it. But I actually like the design of this a lot, right? So this is like a 2-story keep with like an observatory on it. Or actually, that's not an observatory in that last sheet. That's like a there's a demon trapped down in there, I think. Which is very cool. And here's our key, so you can know what they are. And obviously, like, I just had so much fun making rooms that I ran out of stuff to put on there. This is a 2-tiered map. This map blows my mind. I don't really know why it's this way. Here's like a zoomed in region map with the wizard complex up there, and then here's a zoomed out region map that has like the town on it. I don't know why this is the case, but this is very much comes from me reading things like The Village of Hamlet, which was had a massive effect on me. It still has a massive effect on me as a DM, but that kind of thing. And actually, a couple years ago, I made a adventure for some people for 5th edition, and looking at this today, I was like, oh yeah, this is very, very similar to the kind of region that I drew up there. So I guess this is still in here. Yeah, this is the town of Gladevrook, I think, and these are some numeric, thingies for that big region map that I had there. This is like some little secret area, and here's a wizard's rune. I loved making handouts and things like that. I don't do that anymore because they never come up again. I don't know why I would do that. Here's the thing for a wizard's lab. So this is back in the complex. These are vats that have different things in them that you can go look at and check out. This is straight up Irenicus's dungeon. Ryleave, or whatever that creature is called, who used to be, I think, his servant or his dog. It's kind of unclear in the game. So yeah, it's just me. You can see what's like in my head for this kind of thing. There's a library, what you might find if you roll in this library table. And here's a stat sheet. I still keep all my stats this exact same way. I've never lost that. So it's adventure 1 and 3. I don't know what the 1 or the 3 are there. And this is adventure 2, which is like terrible. This is like you went to the forest and you fought some goblins and some hobgoblins. You went to the inn and they asked you to go and fight some hobgoblins. I don't even know why I bothered drawing maps for this. But this was obviously, I'm pretty sure, looking at it, I'm pretty sure this was the thing where we had all planned to get together, and being in high school, only a couple people were able to come, and so I made like a different adventure that was just goblin and kobold combat. I think that's the thing that DMs do all the time. Okay, it is time for character sheets. This is a great one. This is our good friend Danny, playing a character named Kras, who is from Germany for some reason. This is, I believe, a sorcerer or some sort of magic user that he rolled up, and we actually talked over Discord about it. He told me that he thinks this is a character where we started in prison, and he used his prestidigitation to escape by moving some chess pieces or something on the guards table and scaring the guards and making them run away. So I think that's very funny. Here's like a magic item. I'm pretty sure that this is from the 2nd edition or Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Dungeon Master Guide, and I just adapted it for 3.5. There are a billion items in 3.5. I don't know why I was so like gung-ho on adapting things from previous editions. So this is David, who is actually has been in Range Touch videos before. This is his character sheet. His character he played for quite a while, named Murdoch. And I'm gonna pause the video here for just a second, so that you can hear his backstory that he has. So there's all kinds of interesting stuff here about Murdoch. Okay, so Murdoch is he's a level 3 fighter. That's as far as we got, I guess, or at least where we stopped keeping track. He has armor spikes. So basically, the things from like the clan in the Drizzt Do'Urden novels, where they like grab people and then shake and then hurt them. He has that because I thought that was very cool. He's got a ring of shocking grasp. Basically, he's got all kinds of stuff, and he is blind. So he has blind fight, and he does all kinds of stuff. And so this is actually a sheet of paper that David wrote on. That's like a full backstory, and it's actually what you're seeing right now in front of you on the on the thing. It says that Murdoch is part of the Guerrilla Warriors. So Murdoch is obviously based on the Gorillas, the band, of course. The guerrilla warriors were known worldwide for their brutality and amazing use of weaponry. Not much is known about their history except that they held a glorious battle that was heard all around the world, and that is underlined, with an opposing wizard tribe on the outskirts of Europe. So this is like in the real world, I guess. This battle brought the guerrilla warriors to near extinction, and their entire empire was brought to an end. And so then he's got the actual thing about his own character. Murdoch was born a natural warrior and was thought to be the messiah of his people. He was on the front line of the great battle heard all around the world. That is also underlined again, as Murdoch was about to deliver the final blow to the leader of the wizard and to win the battle. He heard the cry of his people and realized they were losing the battle. Taking advantage of his pause, the wizard quickly chanted a magic spell and vanished, but not without striking Murdoch with a bolt of lightning from a wand. Murdoch's senses went out immediately, and he immediately fell to the ground and passed out. When he woke, he was surrounded by the lifeless bodies of his fellow comrades, and for some reason his vision was a bit blurred, and so then he goes blind. He's a blind character. So yeah, I just remember David playing this character quite a lot, and probably putting a lot more thought into than other people did at the time. So anyway, it's fun. I think that's a fun character. That's a good idea. You know, a good character concept. A lot of good memories for that. Speaking of good memories, here's the Dungeon Master's Guide for 2nd edition. I read this thing a billion times. 2nd edition Player's Handbook, 2nd edition DM's Guide are still huge for me. Huge for me. This is basically how I think of the game. And that doesn't really make much sense, especially since 3.5 was like the edition for really the years that I was of the appropriate age to be playing and thinking about D&D. But I got into these books really young, and I read them a whole lot. And you know that just the machinery of this version of the game is what is cranking away in my head. So, but you know, this is what I'm with. I love it. I started looking through it again once I pulled it out of the thing. It's actually falling apart at the spine. It's ripping, but yeah, that dragon and that wizard, y'all. That's real stuff. I don't know what this is for. I don't even know if I made this, weirdly enough. I think someone else might have done it. I mean, I have bad handwriting, but that's especially bad. This will actually be Danny. This might be Danny's handwriting. I'm not sure. I don't think I made this. Someone did, though. This is another character sheet. This is another David character, a different style of character sheet for 3.5. We were using that other one mostly, but I guess we used that one at a separate time. Here is yet another David character. Obviously, we rolled up a lot of different characters. I think this is a fighter again. No, maybe this is a ranger. This is a ranger who had his own character sheet for... Yeah, that's what we're seeing on the right there. Its own character sheet for a pet. I'm not quite sure. I think he just wanted to try it out, see what was going on. Oh, yeah. No, I'm sorry. This is the actual pet. Fang. Got his own character sheet. This is just straight up a character I made. I think this was like a leader... You can see it down there is like a scimitar of ruin and stuff like a bite, I think maybe ability. Yeah, this was just me like creating a big bad NPC for them to deal with, and I rolled up my own character sheet for it, which is cool. Here's a Cyric symbol I drew. I don't think the Cyric symbol looks like that, but that was me like trying to copy it out of the DM's Guide or whatever, the Forgotten Realms Guide for 3.5 probably, or 3rd edition. Here is a CD, a very dirty CD that you can see here, just folded up in paper. That's right, this is Tranquility Music for streams. I would play this while we were playing to give people a sense of what they're supposed to be doing and thinking about. This is a little letter opener dagger that was in the thing. I don't know why we had this. Now I would use it for inspiration. You would get a little dagger for inspiration, I think, but I don't know why we had it. Anyway, that's it. this is all the stuff that was in there. There's a bunch of other like small pieces of paper and things like that, but this is a representative sample of everything that was in there. Thanks for hanging out and watching this video and checking it out. If you have similar cool things from your youth, I'd love to see it. If you want to send them to me on Twitter or leave them in the comments here or whatever. Thanks for watching.